Welcome to the Internet Radio Experience.
Hi, this is Alexa Squignac, also known as Becky the Q. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
One man with one simple vision: to create a barbecue site that doesn't suck. He succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Greg Rempe and the BarbecueCentral.com.
Don't tase me, bro.
Broadcasting live from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show on BBSTalkRadio.com.
What is up? Good Tuesday to you, wherever you may be. This is the Barbecue Central Show. Appreciate you joining me tonight. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Make your time zone adjustments as necessary. Broadcasting once again from the now permanent home of Mix Pub and Grill here in Willoughby, Ohio. If you just happen to be in town and you want to try the best Irish-American pub voted by the local Fox affiliate, check them out. You can also look them up at mixpub.com on the internet. If you are in town, this is the place you want to be at for some great food, big drinks, great people. Thanks to Kevin and the gang for continuing to have me here. Again, it's mixpub.com. Let me get you the contact info if you're ready to jump in. Toll-free number, I'll pay for it, 1-866-515-6977, 866-515-6977, or if you don't want to join me on the telephone, you can break me off an email at bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. That's bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. All right, this is how the show is going to break down today. I ran out of time last show and didn't get to my barbecue pit recommendation, so that's where we'll start. Second segment, I have an interview with one of the most prolific and well-known guys in the barbecue industry, Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe. He's a multiple-time author. He also holds barbecue competition cooking classes. He's the company chef for the Big Green Egg Cookers, and he's one of the three really big-name instructors that have taken over for the Stephen Reichland Barbecue University at the Greenbrier Hotel or the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Ray and Myron Mixon and Chris Lilly now platoon in and out. Two of the three do this really high-level barbecue class that the Greenbrier has now hosted. Well, it's probably just short of a decade now. So we'll have an interview with Ray Lampe, second segment. Then we'll continue on with barbecue pit recommendations if I don't get through those here in the first segment. And then I have a few other items that I can discuss should time permit. The Weber Grill Decency Initiative, which is a pretty unique marketing campaign that Weber has out right now, as everybody knows. I am a self-admitting Weber mark. I love Weber. We can also whatnot. So you have your phone number, 866-515-6977. You have the email address, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. So let's get at it. All right, so let's start out with the barbecue pit recommendations. First of all, let me recommend against one particular barbecue pit. This is well known throughout the barbecue forums as probably one of the worst water smokers that is charcoal fire that you could possibly get your hands on. This thing is called the Brinkmann Water Smoker. This thing is really a piece of crap. It is poorly built. There is very little heat control available on this unit because of its poor build. It is known as like I said, I believe it's the Brinkmann Water Smoker, affectionately known as the ECB, or the El Cheapo Brinkman. This is basically a cooker that turns people off to barbecue. People don't want to invest really any type of money to get a nice quality cooker, so they spend $45 on this silver El Cheapo Brinkman and fire it up for the first time. The ashes have nowhere to go while it's burning, so basically the fire smothers itself during the cook. Of course, that pretty much negates any type of temperature control that you're going to have over this item, because your fire is snuffing out every handful of hours. You're constantly having to shake the ash out, rebuild your fire, and basically start over from scratch every single time. You can make it into a less than average cooker by doing a number of modifications to it. But really, that's really not the point of getting your first kind of introductory smoker. You don't want to have something that you have to buy and then pile more money on making all these intricate modifications in order to get a semi-decent cook out of it. Really, it's $45 spent would be better spent flushed down the drain. If you're even thinking about looking at this unit, or if somebody has recommended this Brinkman unit to you, just get an electric unit. Do not even waste your time with live fire smoking with this Brinkman. It's a piece of crap. And we'll leave it at that. We move on. The water smokers, which is similar in build to the Brinkman as far as having your fire source on the bottom, then you have your heat diffuser, which would be a water pan. Above that, then your two grilling surfaces. Again, I know I talked about Weber last week on the grill aspect, basically pimping them out big time all over in every aspect, and I'm not going to change here. For the bullet type smoker or the water smoker, the Weber Smoky Mountain, or as we affectionately refer to it as the WSM, this is by far the best $200 that you can spend on a cooker. Again, this is charcoal fired. Easy to learn how to use, consistent temperature, great on fuel consumption. It's got really good capacity. You have two levels, or two cooking levels. Easily, I have gotten, I want to say 11 racks of loin back ribs, or what you would know as, or more affectionately referred to as baby back ribs. 11 racks between the two cooking levels. Now, I cut those in half, and I use rib racks in order to modify my space, but nonetheless, that gives you some idea of the cooking capacity this has. Also, if you're familiar with what a Boston butt or a pork butt would look like, if you TP them up on both levels, you can get, I'd say, 6 pounders. So you're doing quite a bit of meat, and it can handle, full packer briskets. So the cooking capacity is really good on these things. It's a Weber, so it's solidly built. It performs well. The customer service obviously goes along with Weber, and again, parts are readily accessible for this unit. So if something breaks, if you need to replace a grill grate, if you need to get a damper door, you can either go to your local big box store and pick these parts up. If they don't have them, a quick 800 number, call out to Weber, get you $5 shipping, and the parts shipped out very quickly, so your downtime is minimal. Pound for pound, in my personal opinion, this is the best cooker out there, and a number of barbecue competition teams on the circuit have this in their arsenal. If it's not their only specific cooker, there's a number of teams out there that only use Weber Smoky Mountain cookers in competitions, and they have 3 or 4 of them. So let's face it, you have 4 Weber Smoky Mountain cookers, you're just under the $900 mark, and a number of these offset trailer pits or these big competition cookers are well into the thousands of dollars, and the people with 2, 3, or 4 Weber Smoky Mountains are beating the people with the bigger high-priced rigs. Just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So that's my recommendation for bullet type water smokers, Weber Smoky Mountain. Now we get into the offsets. Again, offset cooker, you're going to have a big main cooking chamber off to the side, and lower a little bit, you're going to see that square firebox. My recommendations for offsets, and there are, you do a Google search on barbecue pits, and pretty much you're going to be bogged down in your Google search with any number of offset manufacturers. But again, the idea behind these recommendations are to give you the main and best manufacturers that I feel out there after being able to collect all this knowledge here over the last handful of years. You're looking at either a Close barbecue pit or a Gator pit. Both companies are located in the great state of Texas. Customer base is very loyal to their manufacturers, and basically while they pretty much take a position, the Gator owners dislike Close owners, the Close owners dislike Gator owners, and they will sit there and fight about a tooth and nail on any barbecue forum, social networking forum they can possibly get their hands on and their keyboards typed into. Close is typically $600 or higher price-wise than a comparable Gator. Gator owners say the only difference between their Gator pit and a Close barbecue pit is the fact that the Close people voluntarily paid $600 or more for their particular pit. Close owners say that the craftsmanship of their Close pit is not even comparable to a Gator. The Close pit is artfully done. They are the best welders, and if you take a look around all the welds and you see how these units are put together, that being the Close, and then you take a look at how the Gators are being put together, there are visibly signs of differentiation that would put Close over the edge as just being the better overall pit. Now, look, I've interviewed both of these owners for these companies. I've interviewed Dave Close, and I have interviewed Rich Robin from Gator Pit. These are both great guys. You would never catch one, at least publicly, and this is the only arena that I know them in, is in a public setting because I've done podcasts with both of them. Neither one will trash talk the other. Neither one will trash talk the other's product. So in that respect, they're both very professional. Dave Close, admittedly himself, is quite a bit more long-winded than Rich. But again, both of these guys are really great guys that are out to satisfy their customers and deliver high-quality products and take their times. Because here's really what differentiates the offset pits from any other pit. This is what most would consider the prototypical type of barbecue smoker, the barbecue pit. And there isn't just like a standard pit. You have kind of a blueprint of what a standard size would be, and then from there, customization goes crazy. So both of these guys take time with their customers and really hammer out exactly what the customer wants, put it on paper, and then actually make it come to life in their fabrication shops. Do not, please, take note, do not buy, and this is, again, I'm sorry, my personal preference and my personal opinion, but do not buy a Char Griller or a Brinkmann Smoking Pro. These are the offset type units that you would see in your big box store. These units are leaky. They need constant attention because air is constantly, rushing in. The smokestack, initially the way it comes out of the box is really not doing. It's really not helping the airflow circulation to keep the temperature right where it needs to be. And again, this is another unit where you buy it and you spend probably just shy of $200 if you get the main cooking chamber and the offset attachment. And then you have to go make your chimney modification, and you have to make your firebox modification. There might be some other main chamber modifications that you have to make. So now you've added to that initial price tag. It really, in my opinion, an offset smoker for $200 isn't going to be something that you really want to take part in. I know it looks neat, looks good on your back porch. It's really kind of an eye catcher when you have people over or your next door neighbors looking at what you're doing. But the amount of time you have to put in on these things is really not worth it. I mean, if you're going to be buying a true offset, you're really probably looking more into the $750, $800 and up range to really get something that's high quality that you can be able to actually adjust the temperature and be able to take a break at least for an hour and a half before you actually have to throw another log on to keep the temperature rolling with your traditional type stick burners. So that's where we are with the offsets. We'll hit the upright smokers next. But before we head to break, I want to talk about my good friends at the Barbecue Guru. You know what the Barbecue Guru is? It's a microprocessor-controlled draft system that monitors and controls the temperature of your barbecue pit through the use of a power draft fan. The Barbecue Guru offers a wide selection of controllers and blowers to fit your individual need. Like the DigiQ2. It's the all-new digital Q. Competitor is a whole new area of software and power that's simple and sophisticated. Never before seen in monitoring and a control device, this little marvel will let you do anything you have ever imagined possible. Now, for the last 5 years, their competitor model has been the biggest seller. They just made it easier to use, more accurate, and added some more features at the request of their customers. The Digi2Q comes with 2 high-temperature stainless steel armored probes. That's awesome. Then you have the Pit Minder, which just controls the temperature of your pit. If you don't want the insert for your meat, controls it from 90 to 370 degrees, which makes cold smoking, cheese smoking, jerky making simply easy. You can visit their website at thebbqguru.com. That's thebbqguru.com, or call Barbecue Bob at 1-800-288-GURU, 1-800-288-GURU. Stick around. We'll be back with an interview with Ray Lampe right after this.
D-Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach. Each made from the freshest, all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.
The Big Green Egg is the most unique barbecue product on the market, with unmatched flexibility and capabilities that surpass all other conventional cookers combined. It's a smoker, a grill, and an oven. You can cook literally any food on it year-round, from appetizers to entrees to desserts. Here are some of the benefits of the Big Green Egg. It lights fast. It's ready to cook within 10 minutes and no need of lighter fluid. These ceramic walls retain heat with accurate temperature control, so there are no hot spots. And because the top is down while you're cooking, there's no grease flare-ups. Its handsome, decorative, and unique design produces the juiciest and most succulent food you'll ever taste. And don't forget about the first-class customer service and a lifetime warranty. You can find out more information about the Big Green Egg Cooker at www.biggreenegg.com. That's www.biggreenegg.com. Big Green Egg, the most unique barbecue product on the market.
Hi, I'm Johnny Dam, host of The Damage Report. It's an informative show filled with political, social commentary, and satire. It's like having Thanksgiving dinner with the family without all the drinking, yelling, and awkward silence when the uncle that touched you arrived. So fall in love with the First Amendment all over again, weekdays 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on bbstalkradio.com.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose, like ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
This is Jennifer Palamas from Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is Barbecue Central.
Get on the phone and in the smoke. 866-515-6977. That's 866-515-6977. BBSTalkRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. BBQ Central Radio at gmail.com is the email address if you want to jump in. As promised, joining me right now, one of the probably most well-known guys in the barbecue industry at this point. His name is Ray Lampe, a.k.a. Dr. Barbecue. Ray, thanks for taking the time out to join me this evening. How are you?
Hey, Greg. Good to hear you.
Well, I certainly appreciate you coming on the internet radio show, a little different than the podcast things we've done here in the past.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a bar this time.
Yeah, actually, I'm at an Irish bar right in downtown Willoughby, which is just a little bit east of Cleveland. So they're happy to have.
Had I known that, I might have came up and done it live.
Yeah, there you go. Ray, just for some of the people that maybe aren't as familiar with your background as I am, can you give us just a little kind of brief background about yourself and how you kind of got into the barbecue game?
Yeah, sure. I was in the family trucking business, and in 1982, I went to a rib fest in downtown Chicago. Mike Royko, the old columnist, had one, and I went down there with some friends of mine, and we had a really good time. So I started doing that as a hobby, and fast forward 18 years, and my trucking business just kind of had run its course, and I'd been doing the barbecue thing for all those years as a hobby, and I just decided to throw my hat in the ring as a barbecue man and try and make it into a career. And it was kind of a wing and a prayer, but I just was hoping that the thing had grown enough that there was actually some interest in someone to be a spokesman and write a couple cookbooks and do some classes and stuff, and lo and behold, it worked.
So did you really think at that point that maybe this would be something in the future that you would actually be able to make a full-time living at like you're doing now back then?
Well, I didn't. I thought that I could, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be. What I really started doing was I have a concession trailer, and I started selling barbecue in the parking lot down here. And I moved to Florida. I moved from Chicago to Florida at that time. And what I learned was a whole lot of people moved to Florida with the intention of selling something in a parking lot. And, it's just not that doable. The people in Florida deal on a regular basis with people who move down here to sell stuff in the parking lot. They don't really want their parking lots full of people trying to sell stuff, so it's kind of hard to do. And then, frankly, if it rains, people don't buy nothing from the guy in the parking lot. And, so I thought that was going to be the angle, and it really wasn't. And then I realized there was so many new people in the competition world that if I started doing classes, there might be enough people interested in paying a little money for that. And that ended up being probably the first profitable thing I did. And then I started sniffing around at grill stores. Could I do a demonstration or a class and maybe get some people to come into their stores? That wasn't doing all that well, so I hooked up to Big Green Egg, and they saw some value in it and thought that this might really work. If we hired somebody to go around and cook on our grill, maybe they'll sell some of them, and that's just been a dream relationship, and ever since then it just kind of took off. But to this day, it needs to be a combination of things. There's no one segment for me that's ever going to be a real living. You write a cookbook, you do a lot of Big Green Egg stuff, you do some classes, and you do a little catering, and at the end of the year, hopefully there's a salary there.
Now, you've mentioned a couple times about these books. You have 3 books that are out. You have a 4th one on its way in the shelves here in the next few months. Can you tell us a little bit about the books that you have out already, and then what the 4th one is going to be about?
Yeah, well, the first one was, when I wrote that one, I didn't know if I'd ever write another book, so it was sort of my epic, story of my life and of how to cook barbecue the way I saw it. And I'm real proud of that one. It's a good book. Dr. Barbecue's Big-Time Barbecue Cookbook. And because of I did a nice job of writing it, got it in on time. They were pretty happy with it. They signed me to do 2 more. And one is Barbecue All Year Long, which is a series of interesting stories and recipes about, good excuses to barbecue throughout the year. And the third one is Barbecue Road Trip, which was written over the course of a long time, going to a lot of different barbecue joints around the country. There's a lot of people these days that it's sort of like a hobby. You go around and like bird watching, check these places off in your book of barbecue joints you've been to. And I was lucky enough to do a lot of that, and then I did a little bit of it specifically for writing the book, and that's Barbecue Road Trip. That came out in 2007. But the new one is the one I'm all excited about. It's the NFL Game Day Cookbook. I proposed writing a tailgating book, and the publisher said, well, gee, we're not that excited about it. Why don't you go see if you can get the NFL for a partner? Well, I've got a really good agent that's a bulldog, and he went to the NFL and said, hey, you guys want to write a tailgating book with my guy here? And they said, well, nobody had asked in about 20 years. So they said, yeah, sure, we're interested. You know, there's probably a whole lot of people going to be mad when they hear that story because they didn't go ask, but, you know, we did. And it'll be out May 15th.
Obviously, self-explanatory. You're going to be doing recipes about tailgating, or is there something kind of dispersed intermittently?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of tailgating-friendly recipes. For whatever reason, all the marketing people didn't like using the word tailgating. I don't really know why, but I think specific tailgating books haven't sold very well. So they used we came up with the term game day, and which I didn't really write the book any differently than I was going to anyway. Because to me, a tailgate party can be in your living room or your friend's living room or down at the local bar or at the stadium, of course. And so I intended to write it from that perspective of, you know, sandwiches and dinners and soups and breakfast items and desserts and all kinds of different stuff that would basically be appropriate for having some people at your house, or taking a dish to your friend's house, or going to the local bar with a couple of dishes, or going and cooking in the parking lot. So it worked out fine as far as I was concerned. So for whatever reason, everybody was scared of the word tailgating, but I wrote the same book, so there hopefully won't be a problem with that.
Now, we have been corresponding through email and instant messenger chat here for the last couple weeks, and there was something that you are more or less allowing Barbecue Central to scoop, and what better way to get a nice scoop than on the internet radio show. So why don't you go ahead and let us know what's new with the doctor?
Yeah, well, I am the new executive chef at a restaurant in New York City called Southern Hospitality.
Wow.
And one of the owners is Justin Timberlake. So it's a pretty exciting deal for me and pretty high profile. Unfortunately, they weren't really trying to let it out yet, but they snuck something in People magazine about us, and that was kind of exciting. You know, the second day I was there, we just took photos for People magazine. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the thing was, these guys, they had a nice restaurant there, and it's good Southern food, but they didn't have anybody that really knew how to cook good barbecue there. And one of the owners, Eitan, the guy that runs it day to day, he was bothered by that. He really wanted to find somebody that knew how to cook good barbecue. So he went poking around on the internet of all places and found me and sent me an email and said, hey, I've got a restaurant in New York City, and if you kick up our barbecue a little bit, when you see the name, you'll do a little Googling and you'll see who we are. And I did, and of course I found out it was Justin Timberlake's restaurant. And so I went up there and met with him and looked it over, and nice bunch of nice folks, and the fried chicken was real good, and the greens are real good, but they certainly needed some help with their barbecue. And we came to an agreement, and I will be working for them on a regular basis. I'm not moving to New York, but I'll be there on a regular basis now. We've already got the menu straightened out, and the barbecue's very good now. And I'll be up there on a regular basis to greet the folks and make sure they keep the barbecue in line. It promises to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
What kind of travel commitment did you have to make? I mean, you're in Florida going up to New York City. I mean, is that something that has to happen like every other week or every other month or what?
I live on the road pretty much anyway, so it wasn't that big of a thing for me. It's just going to be a little bit of rerouting. I expect to be there 1 to 2 weeks a month. And I don't want to get into the details of the contract, but I expect to be there 1 to 2 weeks a month. It depended on the time of the year. And frankly, I would have probably committed to more if I didn't have the NFL book coming out this year. And that was all already in place, and that's going to require a lot of my time mid and the end of the year. But in the future, I could end up spending a lot of time up there. They have aspirations to open other restaurants around the country as well. So I may end up, splitting my time between the different restaurants. But I expect that in the future I'll end up spending a lot of time up there. I'm going to still keep my house in Florida, though. I don't, that was almost a deal breaker that I had to be in New York for all the, because I know they've always had a bunch of big green eggs up there for Stevens classes and just for their general use. We've always sent them to him. And he was actually looking for me as well because they just were looking to go in a different direction and wanted to do something different. And so we started talking, and he was talking about some different things. And they didn't want to use just one guy anymore. They wanted to try and do a little rotating thing, mix it up a little bit. And I said, well, what's your wish list? And he said, well, I don't know. Let me talk to my bosses and get back to you. So they called me up during the week and said, well, what about you and Myron Mixon and Chris Lilly? And I said, well, You know, they're both good friends of mine. I'll call them up. I'm going to be real surprised if they say no. I may not have played my hand like that to him, but that's certainly what I was thinking. And of course, they were both said, you know, yeah, of course. You know, this is a lot of fun, high-profile thing. And so then we went up there for the weekend. And, gosh, it felt like a bull in a china shop. Like I said, it's a beautiful place, and it's very Victorian kind of. It's probably not a good architectural term, but it's very old and traditional. And at afternoon tea one day, there was Myron Mixon and myself sitting on this floral print sofa drinking tea and eating these little cookies with all the fancy ladies, and it had to be a sight to see. You know, I wish we would have had a camera there that day.
I mean, if people don't know what you look like, I mean, just the thought for me, and I know what you look like, and we've done a number of conversations, I can't even possibly fathom you having tea with ladies.
Well, we were actually drinking the cold tea, Myron and I. We weren't drinking hot tea, and the ladies, I think, were kind of scared of us. They weren't exactly conversing with us, but we were right there in the middle of it. And yeah, I mean, I certainly don't look like most of the clientele at the Greenbrier, and frankly, neither does Myron. He's a bit of a barbecue man-looking guy himself,
right?
But you know, honestly, it was a lot of fun because the people we met there were not very tight, stuffy at all. I was really pleasantly surprised how nice everybody was, including the guests. You know, you would think in a place like that, I mean, it's a high-end resort, and we did not meet any sort of stuffy people working there or as guests. It was really a pleasant surprise. It's going to be a lot of fun there. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's a little pricey for most of us to go and attend this thing, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and it's a beautiful place. God, the food they serve at this resort was phenomenal. They have a big grand dining room that almost everybody dines in, and you have to wear a jacket and tie, which was cool. You know, I mean, I had to actually go buy a tie. I hadn't had one in a long time.
Yeah, I was another thing you're used to doing, right?
Woodford Reserve all over it.
Nice.
But I mean, it's just a fabulous place, and of course, you know, I don't know. Me and Chris have done some things together in the past, but not this extensive. You know, I mean, you can get me and Chris together for a couple hours, but you know, how'd you like to spend the weekend with me and Chris Lilly at the Greenbrier? Well, gosh, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait to do it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be, not only is that great, but the fact that it's almost like if you have any idea who you guys are and what you guys represent, what you've accomplished, at least for me, I'm like, well, do I want to be with Ray and Chris, or Chris and Myron, or Myron and Ray? Because all three of you aren't doing it at the same time, so that's, you know, kind of a dilemma in itself, but in a good way.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. You know, what they did was they hired the three of us, and we're going to rotate. So the first one will be Chris and I, and the second one will be Myron and I, and then the third one will be Myron and Chris. And then there's a fourth date out there. I think whenever we sell one of these out, we'll add the fourth date if they've still got it available. And I think we're getting close, but I thought the same thing. You know, I don't know. I think in the future I got a feeling that we're going to end up having to do all three of us one weekend also during the course of the year, because I think people are going to demand it. On the other hand, I guess maybe that was the idea, you know. The thing that's different about this for me is, and Chris and Myron as well, generally if we go to do a barbecue event, Myron was up in Boston this week, and I'm doing a polo club thing in Palm Beach in a couple of weeks, you know. Usually when we do stuff like that, people are there to see us. Well, this is a little different. These people are coming to the Greenbrier and just looking for an excuse to come.
Right.
You know, these are returning Greenbrier guests that come there on a regular basis. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of them twice this year.
Well, we just got a couple of minutes left. So now, you know, this show is probably more geared, you know, the majority of people here might not be as, you know, up to date or as into the subculture of barbecue as myself or obviously you. So in your opinion or in your expert advice, what would be the best piece of information you could give to a newbie when it comes to getting into barbecue?
Well, there's a ton of information on the internet. Unfortunately, a lot of it has kind of become watered down, and there's a lot of, like I'm sure a lot of things on the internet, there's a lot of people giving advice you probably shouldn't be giving it. The thing to do is get yourself a cooker and fire it up and start practicing. you know, and patience. It takes a long time to cook real barbecue, and if you've only got 3 hours, I'm sorry, but you can't cook the ribs or the pork shoulder tonight. You know, grill some chicken and come back and cook the pork shoulder when you've got 12 hours to hang around the barbecue cooker. You know, we all live in a world where we're all busy and in a hurry and don't have time for stuff anymore, but unfortunately, cooking barbecue takes a long time, and you need to have some patience and some time to set aside. And, you know, there's some great books out there. The internet stuff, like I said, you got to be careful because there can be some odd stuff on the internet, but there's a lot of good books and there's a lot of good stuff out there. So read as much of it as you can and just start cooking.
Ray, where can people go to find out a little bit more information about you?
My website's drbarbecue.com, drbbq.com. The Southern Hospitality, bbq.com. They've got a whole new thing about me on their website, and we're going to have a blog there as soon as we get it fired up. And actually, biggreenegg.com. My schedule probably more updated than I usually have it. They got a Where's Dr. Barbecue segment on their website that gets updated more than mine does. So I'm not hard to find.
Now, you know, given this new internet radio thing, I'm going to have you back on and do kind of a live version of that barbecue roundtable that we did that one time.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Anytime.
I can mark you down for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the fun part about this. You know, yeah, it seems like we're doing these important things, but heck, we're all old friends. You know, nothing I enjoy more than sitting around BSing with Minion and Eddie, and I mean, those guys are great. They're good friends of mine, and it's not hard to get me to talk me into doing it.
Cool. Ray Lampe is now 4-time author, company chef for Big Green Egg, a barbecue competition cooking class instructor, and one of the 3 big-name guys that are going to be heading up the barbecue mastery class held at the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Ray, always appreciate the time, the insight, and the candor. Continued success, and we'll do it again soon for sure.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Nice talking to you.
All right, Ray, take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was Ray Lampe, if you need him. www.drbbq.com. He's one of my favorite guys to rap with when it comes to barbecue. You can tell probably very easily that he's very approachable, even given his status in the barbecue world. Always willing and able to sit down with me, and that's why I appreciate and I will always continue to have him on my show. Let me tell you something. He is the corporate chef for Big Green Egg, and the Big Green Egg is now a new proud sponsor of the Barbecue Central Internet Radio Show here on bbstalkradio.com. It's one of the most innovative and unique barbecue products on the market. It's a grill and oven. You can basically cook anything you want on this thing year-round. It lights very fast, in 10 minutes without any lighter fluid. Ceramic walls retain heat with accurate temperature control. It's fuel efficient. It withstands temperature extremes from 0 degrees to 1,800 degrees. You can use it year-round. It's a fuel miser. It's weatherproof, so the ceramics won't rust. It's a handsome decorative unit. And it only makes the juiciest, most succulent barbecue or grilled food you've ever had in your life. Check them out. Don't forget about the first-class customer service and the lifetime warranty. BigGreenEgg.com is the place you can go to find out more information about that. BigGreenEgg.com. We'll be back right after this.
Broadcasting live from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. Listening to the Barbecue Central Show on bbstalkradio.com.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperature, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
If you're not listening to California Dreaming, you're missing out on all the important stuff.
Masturbation is costing society a lot of water. Okay?
What?
Okay.
Where did you get this from?
You take a shower, you shampoo, you soap yourself, blah, 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 and then you start going at it, right? So what is it, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? That's a lot of water. I mean, can you imagine how much water is wasted on that? Just imagine how many gallons you think probably go through the shower head in a minute. So I think we're going to have a drought regardless of whether it rains here or not, because people are wasting water masturbating, you know? Do it elsewhere. Don't do it in the shower, okay?
Sam says vote no masturbate in 08. It's California Dreaming. California Dreaming. With your host, Sam and Manu, only on BBS Talk Radio. The Big Green Egg is the most unique barbecue product on the market, with unmatched flexibility and capabilities that surpass all other conventional cookers combined. It's a smoker, a grill, and an oven. You can cook literally any food on it year-round, from appetizers to entrees to desserts. Here are some of the benefits of the Big Green Egg. It lights fast, it's ready to cook within 10 minutes, and no need of lighter fluid. These ceramic walls retain heat with accurate temperature control, so there are no hot spots. And because the top is down while you're cooking, there's no grease flare-ups. Its handsome, decorative, and unique design produces the juiciest and most succulent food you'll ever taste. And don't forget about the first-class customer service and a lifetime warranty. You can find out more information about the Big Green Egg Cooker at www.biggreenegg.com. That's www.biggreenegg.com. Big Green Egg, the most unique barbecue product on the market.
D-Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach. Each made from the freshest, all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.
This is Jim Minion from Two Loose Screws. I'm listening to Barbecue Central.
Now, back to the Barbecue Central Show on BBSTalkRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Got a number of emails over the break that my stream was not going, but I was just on the phone with Sam Hassan in Los Angeles, and the stream is running with a number of listeners on there, so I apologize if anybody is not experiencing the Barbecue Central show right now, but it will be archived. Again, I apologize. Please email me and let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, don't email me because, well, quite frankly, you won't be able to hear me. bbqcentralradio@gmail.com is the email. 866-515-6977. We continue with my smoker recommendations here at Mix Pub and Grill in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio. Thanks again to Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, for joining me last segment. It was quite an interesting conversation. I know it's kind of a little bit all over the place, but I wanted to give a little background about him and then kind of get up to present speed with him. So, again, appreciate that. All right, so let's look at now the upright smokers. Upright smokers are basically... they're looking not like mini refrigerators like those cubes you had in college that you stored your illegal beer in, but probably, let's say, 3 of those on top of each other, maybe 4. Again, upright build. Typically, the manufacturers that make these, they're fully insulated. They're all charcoal fired. And since they're fully insulated, you have the ability to cook in these all year round or in all weather conditions. Some of the best manufacturers for uprights out there, one, probably the best known upright at this point and they have been for a number of years, is a company called Backwoods Smokers. And the owner of that is Mike McGowan. I've tried to get him on a podcast for a number of times, but I don't think his technology is there computer-wise to get on. But he has a number of Backwoods smokers that compete in competitions or teams that use his smokers and they win. So Backwoods is definitely a top maker. One that really has been growing over the last 2 years or so is a company called Spice Wine Ironworks, and they make spice wine smokers or spice wine cookers. Again, a lot of noise, a lot of buzz about these guys on the internet. A lot of people going out and buying these smokers because, again, insulated. They get very good fuel consumption, long burn times, and Jay Curry is the owner of Spice Wine. His units are really, really awesome looking. I mean, he's got like this custom car paint job. He can put any type of graphics on the side of it, so his trail units are really, really awesome looking. And he's been growing, leaps and bounds. He's been able to set up distributorships. So Spice Wine Smokers is definitely a great manufacturer for uprights. And then really kind of like the before Spice Wine, there was a company called Stump Smokers. And they were just stumps when I knew them and did a first podcast with them a number of years ago. But they've kind of fallen off the hot list. They were bought by a bigger company. I think there was a lot of demand for stump smokers, and I don't think the owner necessarily was outfitted to keep up with product demand and, without making the lead time continue to grow and grow. So they sold to a bigger company that could kind of help them grow in that respect. But I think the company that bought them, which I believe was Viking, I don't know if they just didn't want to keep them as a separate entity, but, provide them with their financial needs to continue to grow or what. But they've really kind of fallen off the face. I really haven't heard a lot about them since that whole acquisition took place. But they really came up with a great concept on an upright cooker. Now, if you can imagine looking at, your refrigerator, and then off to the side there's this big long chute that you dump, a lit charcoal chimney full of charcoal down initially, and then dump the whole chute full of unlit charcoal. And it's called gravity fed or GF or gravity feed system. So basically, you're dumping this unlit charcoal on the already burning charcoal, and it's got that, chain smoker effect, if you will. It's all, constantly lighting the unlit, constantly lighting the unlit. And then you stick your wood chunks underneath in the ash pan, and the hot embers come down and basically smolder the wood, giving you the wood smoke. I mean, the concept was phenomenal. The GF223 is probably still one of the most sought-after upright smokers, and people that have them can't talk enough about them. You're able to modify them with the Barbecue Guru very easily, and you get a lot of space, and they're mobile even though given the size. Really, the Stumps was pretty much set, in my opinion, to really do quite a bit of market capture with that type of smoker build. But again, things happen. So what are you going to do? Next is we'll move to the electric smokers. There are some, what I would call cheap but definitely acceptable units. My dad had one. It was the Char-Broil H2O smoker, the Char-Broil water smoker. Basically what you had, instead of a charcoal bowl on the bottom, there's a heating element. And then you have a water pan that sits above that, just like the charcoal-fired ones, to diffuse the heat. Two easy modifications you can make right off the bat, very inexpensive. One, you go to the Lowe's or the Home Depot and you buy those already prefabbed smoker boxes that have the wood chips in it. And they're really kind of pliable, it's not like real rigid metal. And you can actually, the way the heating element is skewed kind of in a U shape, you just stick that little metal box in between the heating element, and it obviously heats the smoker box up. And you stick your wood chips and chunks in that smoker box, and all of a sudden your smoke output to flavor your meat is increased probably like 100 times. I remember my dad saying that he couldn't get over the fact of how much better the smoke was and how much better the flavor was once he made that very simple modification. The other real simple modification you could do on the Char-Broil is to take off that crappy dome thermometer that has low, medium, and high for temperature readings. Just take that out and actually get a real stick thermometer stick in your dome that has actual degrees, so you can read where the temperature of your smoker is, and you can make the adjustments on the dial from there if you want it to go up a little bit more or down a little bit more. And I think with a full pan of water, even cranked all the way up, because then you're going to be putting a load of meat in to take up energy anyway. You're probably not going to be able to get that thing over 250 degrees, even if you tried. So, especially if you're cooking. So that's, an acceptable $45, $50 cooker that you can plug in and get rolling and really not have to worry about bad things happening. The Quality Electric Smoker is made by Cook Shack. Now, these are not legal in competitions because they're not wood burning. Cook Shack makes a great line of backyard smokers for, any type of backyard cook in varying sizes. This is a true set it and forget it unit. You're basically putting your meat in there and selecting the temperature with a dial, and you're off and running. And the unique thing about these Cook Shacks, and my dad has a 008, is they have some really cool accessories. You can take out the cooking racks and hook in rib hooks, so you can, hook those full racks up and let them hang. They also make these really cool beef jerky skewers that you can slide in. They're measured correctly, so you can take the shelves out, slide the jerky skewers in, and do beef jerky very easily. My dad makes some of the best beef jerky you've ever had. And then, of course, they have these storage carts, so, overall height of the unit when you have the cooker and the storage cart together, probably, shy of 6 feet, but it's, quite an impressive unit, and that's what Cook Shack has to offer on their line of, non-legal competition backyard cookers. But I can't believe it. Once again, we've run out of time. Next show, I will get to the top-of-the-line electric cookers, the hybrid smokers, and we'll get into the grill decency, accessories for your barbecue pits and whatnot. I want to thank my guest, Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, for talking to me on our second segment. Next week, we will kind of break barbecue format. My guest will be Cheryl Vendetti, the Italian floozy. She's a stand-up comic, and she has a new cookbook out that she wanted to promote, so she emailed me. Figured we'd have her on, change it up a little bit. I want to thank the Barbecue Central crew. Sam Casson, my sound engineer in Los Angeles. I am the phone slap. I am the show producer, and I am your host, Greg Rempe. Let me tell you that BBS Talk Radio has some of the great and most entertaining original talk shows out there right now. There's California Dreaming with my man Sam and Manu from 12 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. The World of TJ McCormick from 3 to 5 Eastern. The Damage Report with my man, the Reverend Johnny Dam, from 5 to 7. All those shows are taking place Monday through Friday. Then we have the full run of weekly shows as well. The Unicus Radio Hour with Robert Stanley every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. On the Couch with Dr. Michelle. Fridays from 2 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. The Art of Love with Lucia. Sundays from 6 till 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And following me when my show is regularly scheduled on Thursday evenings at 10 o'clock is the Broad Topics with Laura, Joan, Kelly, and Marnie. We will see you back here next week at my regularly scheduled time slot of Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Till next week, this is your host, Greg Rempe, for the Barbecue Central For You show, saying peace, love, and barbecue.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperature, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com. Or call 1-800-288-GURU.
The Big Green Egg is the most unique barbecue product on the market, with unmatched flexibility and capabilities that surpass all other conventional cookers combined. It's a smoker, a grill, and an oven. You can cook literally any food on it year-round, from appetizers to entrees to desserts. Here are some of the benefits of the Big Green Egg. It lights fast. It's ready to cook within 10 minutes and no need of lighter fluid. These ceramic walls retain heat with accurate temperature control, so there are no hot spots. And because the top is down while you're cooking, there's no grease flare-ups. Its handsome, decorative, and unique design produces the juiciest and most succulent food you'll ever taste. And don't forget about the first-class customer service and a lifetime warranty. You can find out more information about the Big Green Egg Cooker at www.biggreenegg.com. That's www.biggreenegg.com. Big Green Egg, the most unique barbecue product on the market.
D-Dog's award-winning barbecue rubs put the perfect balance of spicy and sweet on your ribs, chicken, all beef and pork, and more. Whether it's slow-cooked barbecue or grilled steaks and burgers or soups, vegetables, or anything else from your kitchen, D-Dog's award-winning rubs make good food great. 4 flavors: original, maple, apple, and peach. Each made from the freshest, all-natural ingredients. Order yours today at www.ddogsbbq.com. That's DDOGSBBQ.com. D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs. It's better than ketchup.